So yeah, seriously, I can't shake this head cold. So I'm apologizing up front. I'm gonna be sucking cough drops and shit, which I think is better than me hacking my lungs out on stream. Or should I just hack my lungs out on stream?
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
I don't know what's up with this one, dude. It's been really bad. Like really bad. It's now I'm on like 2 weeks of this. Like the first week I felt just shitty all week. And I was hitting the medicine hard. But you know, I cut back to the stuff because I didn't want medicine head all this week and I had to do work. Man, it was fucking killing me. Just killing me. Have you gotten one of these yet this flu season? Oh, you zoomed in.
I am so zoomed.
You are.
I zooms. Maybe I unzoom a little. Yeah.
There we go. That's good. No, you look great.
Yeah, I had like a little bit of a sickness maybe a couple of months ago. I don't know. I don't know if it's like the same thing that you got though.
I seriously, it's killing me. All right. Well, we're not going to do this as part of the main show, but I did want to follow up on a topic we talked about last week that we got so many dislikes on the video for. So many dislikes. People were not happy with our Valve video, but I would like to say we were right about something because we were talking about the price a lot based on the specs. And obviously Valve still has not said, hey, this is what it's going to cost, but they did say something this week. They said it will not be priced as a console. It will be priced competitively as a PC. It's going to be $1,000.
Yeah.
It's going to be $1,000.
Yep.
And I go back to what we talked about last week. I'm sorry. It's not going to sell at $1,000. It's not worth it. Not for those specs. Not just to be in big screen mode. Would you pick it up for $1,000?
No, because I would just build my own. Just build your own. Build, don't buy. Just do it. Just do it. It's going to mean so much more to you, and it's going to look way cooler than a box of shit.
Have a cube. You may have a cube.
Don't trust anyone that's trying to hand you a cube. If that's like the only life lesson from Hellraiser we should take away from that.
There you go. Now, what's this you put in the upfront notes about Mount Rainier? I saw a little bit about it, but
yeah. Okay. Yeah. So actually found this out because from my mother-in-law who sent us a message saying, hey, Mount Rainier erupted. Are you guys okay? And I was like, what? And supposedly some like national news stations were like reporting actively that Mount Rainier had erupted. But they were getting false data from like a really old sensor from Mount Rainier that was just like coated in snow. So like all the local scientists, you know, outside of just looking at the mountain and being like, it's still there. We're very quickly like, no, you guys are dumb. Like it's there. It's an old sensor. It's covered in snow. It has interference. You're stupid. So yeah, there was that fun. I was like, I'm pretty sure we would know, right? Like, even though like you and I were up north, you know, I'm pretty sure we would still know.
You would still see it.
Yeah.
That we would get emergency broadcast shit on our phone like, hey, Mount Rainier erupted. Stay away from the valley.
Yeah.
Also, just for those who don't know, who don't live in volcano zones, volcanic eruptions are never surprises, right? When St. Helens erupted, they knew months in advance. They were like, hey, that volcano right there, it's about to blow up, right? Yeah, we will know when Mount Rainier is about to blow. I promise. It won't be a surprise. Like, it's not going to be like hey, the mountain exploded randomly.
Oh.
Right? Unless there happens to be a Balrog in it that we don't know about.
I was driving home, and I thought at first the mountain wasn't out. And then I realized half of it was gone. Shit, when did that happen?
I'm curious how much of the top will come off because,
Ooh.
yeah, because the top of Mount St. Helens lost 1,300 feet of elevation when it blew in 1980.
That's a lot.
It lost over 1,000 feet of height. It was like, I'm tall, now I'm not.
Oh God.
The Barista Cup, we looked at this, and I think we both agree this is stupid.
Dumb.
I don't get... At least like Red Cup Day, it's free.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm
Yeah.
looking at this fucking thing, and I'm like, this thing looks dumb.
Show our audience
I am
what
showing
we're-
the audience. I don't... Why would you pay hundreds of dollars,
Look at that.
or even $40? Fuck. Why would you buy this? I don't get it.
I guess like maybe to make the podcast more interesting, we should have like different views. So like, oh my God, it's so adorable. And it's only, I think it originally was just $29.
No.
And I want the cute bear, Alex.
No.
Alex, I want the cute bear. Look at it. It can be whatever it wants to be because it's hollow and plastic like American core values.
That was a good line right there. Oh, wait, man. Somebody, God damn it. I wish somebody in our Twitch thing had the thing. Somebody needs to clip that shit.
Are we not recording?
No, I don't record the opener. I never record
damn.
I never record the cold open. Maybe the AI thing will find it when we go to do clips later. Okay. Other upfront stuff. Superman 1 sold for $9 million. That's cool. I wish I had $9 million to buy a comic book.
All right. So here's the thing. That's like a 90-year-old comic book. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let you think about this. What grading do you think this comic book got? I'm going to remind you, right? I opened a pack of baseball cards and immediately sent this off for grading. That's a 9. Literally pack protector grading 9. Mew, same thing. Immediately shipped off for grading.
I like how
9.
prepared you were for this little mini segment with slabs.
So prepared. Yeah. So something that is not a card. It's a flimsy freaking comic. 90 years old. And they weren't that well made, I think, back then. Anyways, what grading do you think a 90-year-old issue 1 Superman comic got?
I'm going to go with a 4.
All right. I'm going to give you another hint. I showed you 2 9s.
It graded a 9?
They got a fuck. So the previous highest record, I believe, sold for like 3 million.
Uh-huh.
And the reason why this one went for 9 is that it got a 9 grading.
Did somebody stick it in like a vacuum sealed container for the last 90 years and just leave it there with no exposure to light? Wow. That's
No
impressive.
idea.
That's impressive. Last one on our quick hits. K-pop Demon Hunters go to Macy's Thanksgiving Parade. That's awesome. My daughter will be excited to hear that. I'll have to tell her. She'll actually want to watch the parade this year if it's got K-pop Demon Hunters.
Nice. And they have the actual singers. The real singers are going to be there performing their songs. I didn't look too much into this, so I hope it's the Derpy Cat is going to be like the giant float, I hope.
Okay.
Is that funny?
I'm down.
But,
I'm absolutely down. All right. Well, let's end the cold open. Thank you, folks. Coming to you from our live Weird Home Studios. It is the Error Code Show for November 20th. Your place for news, pop culture, politics, gaming, and whatever the hell else we want to talk about, because it's our talk show. If you want to support the show, you can use Prime subs. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 Twitch sub for free, and you can give us Amazon some money. That's a great way to support the news and reactions we bring you every week. You can comment, like, subscribe, and share our videos on the YouTube channel. We're on the march to 5,000 subs. We're really trying to get there. And thank you to everybody who's already subbed, and thank you to those who are already sharing. And be sure to follow us on the Twitters and the Facebooks at Error Code Show. I am fighting a horrible cold today. With that out of the way, let's jump into our first segment tonight. Shock of all shocks. The Trump administration has lost its mind multiple times this week. After last week's show, we had the Trump flip-flop over the weekend of don't vote for this. Republicans are stupid if you vote for this. To, never mind, you should all vote for this. All of you vote for it right now. And so this week we had the vote. We guessed last week in our segment that there were going to be a bunch of defections. We'd heard 40 to 50. No, there was only one no vote in the House of Representatives, and it was unanimous out of the Senate. And I don't think anybody saw that result coming. Nobody was like, yep, we're going to automatically go for that veto-proof majority. The only no vote out of the House was from Clay Higgins, and his name alone should tell you all you need to know about that. Clay Higgins. Well, I'm not going to vote for them Epstein files. Fuck that guy. Anyway. So we'll start there. We have another Trump nutty headline. But we'll get to that in a second. Jay, were you surprised by the vote that it was that many people were like, yep, get this out there? And what else did you think when this all finally kind of shook out?
So for a few things. So one, I wasn't shocked that it passed because I think for me, I was like, whoever like votes no, I think that's just like career suicide. Like, sorry, it when their term is up, like they're done. Like that gives you whoever they're running against, that gives them that person like the perfect thing. Like, oh, hey, like this person protected pedophiles. Like, I was shocked that it passed that. Yeah, that everyone pretty much agreed, except for one person, that it should be released. So I was shocked by the number of people that voted yes. So I wasn't surprised that it passed. My thought on this now, not knowing how like governmental, I don't know, top secret documents go, is I'm worried that now that everyone is backing this, like all the Republicans and Trump and his little group of friends, I'm worried that they got rid of some of the stuff, some of the real bad stuff. What are your thoughts?
I don't think they even need to get rid of it. I think what they're going to do is they're going to call it classified, because the actual legislation says they're releasing unclassified documents. Now, they'll redact a bunch of it. I think they're going to play some games with how they do the redactions and how they do the releases by classifying some of it. They obviously went down this road of, we opened a new investigation, which everybody questioned. We were like, but I thought you fools said like 3 months ago that you were closing the investigation and there was nobody to go after, right? And they're like, well, we got new information. And nobody's buying it. Again, nobody's buying this stuff. They're just not. They have 30 days, so I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next 30 days. The stuff that the House released last week that we talked about on the show, we're starting to see some of the stuff that's going on with that. Larry Summers stepped down from the board of OpenAI. He's left his position at Harvard. He's gone away from the Center for American Progress. It's, there are people, it's already starting to affect some things. So I'll be curious. I have no doubt, though, it's not even about shredding the documents. It's just, again, them calling it classified. Hey, this is classified. Fuck you. We're not showing you, And so I think it's going to turn into a bit of a fight. The other interesting piece of this legislation is, let's say we get a different administration in there, a different AG, this law doesn't expire. So the next admin can use this law to release everything if they want to. We'll see. I am hesitant to make predictions after the flip-flops from last week and everything else that's going on. I am hesitant to make predictions on what the hell they're going to do. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
All right. Should we move on to headline number 2 that happened today?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Headline number 2. Trump calling for the execution of Democratic lawmakers. Here's what's happening. Let me break this down for everybody. So, a few days ago, there was a report, I believe, out of the New York Times saying that certain senior military officials are seeking outside counsel, right, outside of the military, to help them parse whether some of the orders they're getting from the DOD, specifically around these strikes in Venezuela, are legal, right? When this broke, some Democratic lawmakers made a big video targeting at service members and, basically encouraging them to not follow illegal orders. When they did that, Trump was like, that's sedition. It's punishable by death. We don't have a country. Bah, 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 bah. Right? So, why is this a thing? Okay? Why are they going to outside counsel? So first off, what generally happens is at the higher levels of command, they have a JAG officer. His job is to look at everything that's going on and do legal analysis and determine whether orders are legal, right? A bunch of JAG officers at the Pentagon have been fired or removed from their positions, right? The Southcom commander, who would oversee Venezuela, resigned suddenly right before all this stuff started happening.
Oh, shit.
There is some question as to the legality of it. And as we learned at Nuremberg and after My Lai, just saying, I didn't know it wasn't illegal is not a defense. You can't use it as a defense. And what, rightfully so, some of these people are thinking about is, dude, I don't want to get 6-7 years down the line and suddenly I'm standing trial for war crimes, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what can happen. Now, are the Democrats playing politics with it? Absolutely. Is it sedition? No. He's just popping off at the mouth, right? I heard, and so by the way, if you guys want good news analysis, it's kind of almost both sidesy. I recommend Breaking Points. They have a great YouTube channel. They work with the guys over at Drop Site News. They're a great independent news team. That's who I listen to pretty much every day. I love Breaking Points. Anyway, he made a point today when they were talking about some of this stuff. And they were talking about it in relation to this and the whole Comey prosecution, right? Because that's falling apart on them, right? It's the fascism of dunces, right? These guys are trying to do a fascism, but they're not good at it, right? The problem is they keep fucking things up. And they screw it. He hired yes men. Hegseth is in no way qualified to be the SecDef. Pam Bondi is not qualified to be the AG. She's really not. Right? Okay? These people don't know what they're doing. Case in point, the person they put in charge of Comey's prosecution, because the first guy in Virginia, right, who was the person who they wanted to prosecute Comey, said, no, I can't. There's nothing there. We can't prosecute him. So they fired him. And they put in this woman named Lindsay Halligan, right? Lindsay Halligan is a lawyer, right? She worked for Deco Models. She competed in Miss Colorado USA, right? And her primary thing that she's done for the last 9 years is insurance law. She has never in her life done criminal law. And they were like, we're going to make you the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Virginia, and you'll prosecute James Comey, somebody who had no idea how to prosecute a criminal case, right? Because she'd never done it in her life, okay? She represented insurance companies against lawsuits filed by homeowners, okay? She's a doofus, right? And yesterday, the judge basically questioned her left, right, and center. And he's like, what are you doing? And it's all stuff that anybody who was a longtime prosecutor would know not to do. But she doesn't know, right? And yeah, somebody in the chat, My Cousin Vinny. Right. It's worse than My Cousin Vinny. Okay?
I love that movie.
I love that movie. Also, one of the last times somebody won an Oscar for a comedy was Marissa Tomei in that movie. She won a best.
Really?
Yeah, oh. Marissa Tomei won a Best Supporting Actress Oscar for her role in My Cousin Vinny.
Cool. I did not know that.
And her role was great. Wasn't she awesome in that movie?
Yeah. Yep.
Again, it's the fascism of morons, right? The lucky part, I guess, the upside, is that they're having a hard time with their fascism because they don't know how to do it right. So that's somebody in the YouTube chat. This administration is the Roblox version of the Third Reich.
Oh my God.
It's true. And meanwhile, this is all set to the backdrop of the major conservative organizations like the Heritage Foundation and stuff like that are literally tearing themselves to pieces right now. Members of the Heritage Boards who've been there for 30 years, stalwart members of the conservative movement, are leaving. They don't know where they're going, right? And they just don't know what to do. Which, again, good for us. You know, I mean, do you have any further thoughts on this one?
Just like trying to answer a chat question. So the connection is, Vinny in the movie, he doesn't know what to do. So he's like stumbling through the case and the judge has to like keep correcting him, kind of guiding him, very frustrated at this lawyer who very clearly is like out of his depth and doesn't know what to do. That's kind of the connection. It's a 1992. It's kind of an old movie, but it's funny. It's a great movie.
It really is. It's a phenomenal movie. Yeah. So I mean, this is what's going on. I don't know how many people have forgotten about the first administration. The first administration was like this. Every day I would get up, I would turn on Twitter and be like, what idiot thing did our president say today? Right? It was every day. Right?
Yeah.
You know, the other problem that they're having with the Comey prosecution is Comey's lawyers, who are smart, are going, hey, this is malicious and vindictive prosecution. They're only doing this because the president told them to, ordered them to. And that's illegal. Toss the case out, right? And the problem is that the government is having a hard time arguing, nuh-uh, when they fired the other prosecutor, and Trump's been on his Truth Social multiple times to be like, prosecute Comey, right? So they're screwed. It's dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
His tariff thing is going to get tossed out of court, right? I think everybody kind of sees that coming, right? They're already, if you've noticed, they've very quietly been backing off tariffs the last week. They've been lowering a bunch. And I think they know that their whole tariff regime is about to get tossed out on its head, right? Again, it's dumb. It's just dumb. They don't know how to fascism right. So, I mean, that's it. Anyway, let us know what you think in the comments down below. Before we jump into our second topic, hey, everybody who came in a little after, welcome to the show. If you've got any topics, you can drop them into our Discord channel before the show. Or if you're in the chat right now, and you saw something in the news this week or saw something you thought was cool and you'd like it for us to talk about it, drop it in the chat and we will try and get to it at the end of the show. Trump 1.0 had somewhat more competent cronies. Yeah, and that was his problem. And that was the thing that they figured out in Project 2025. That was the thing they figured out between the administrations. Part of the reason the Trump agenda didn't go off very well in his first term was he brought in a lot of very establishment Republicans who would look at him and go, no, that's illegal. I can't do that. And they said, wait a minute. No, we're not going to do that again. We're only going to bring in people who tell us yes and find ways to do it. That's their problem. All right. DogNet, I have that. It's coming up. So, again, if you guys have any topics you saw this week, go ahead and throw them in the chat. I love them.
New Stargate?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a minute. But
okay,
it's your topic, Jay. It's time to go.
Yeah. So today is the Transgender Day of Remembrance. Those of you that are unaware of this day, this started back in 1999 as a candlelight visual that was organized by Gwendolyn Ann Smith to honor Rita Hester, who is a Black trans female who was murdered in November 1998. Originally this came from the San Fran Bay Area as an annual event to remember all transgender and gender nonconforming people who were lost to violence, and since then has grown to be an observed day held on November 20th, which is the anniversary of Chanel Pickett's murder in 1995. Now, the HRC, the Human Rights Campaign, they obviously advocate for a lot of LGBTQ plus rights. So they have some stats here about the transgender community. Since 2013, 7 in 10 trans and gender nonconforming victims were people of color. 8 in 10 were transgender women. About 6 in 10 were Black transgender women. And 71% were killed by a firearm. In the last 12 months, since the last day of remembrance, 43.9% of the LGBTQ plus community, specifically the trans community, has stated that they have experienced discrimination based on their sex, gender, or sexual orientation. And 57.6% said they were less open about their identities compared to a year ago. And 58.5% said they were less visible in their daily life than a year ago. So that's a lot. Let me pause right there. Alex, any thoughts or any questions from the chats?
I'll wait for questions from the chat. They're on a delay, always behind us. I will say it's always important for us to take kind of a minute, right? To take kind of a minute to just talk about stuff like this, you know. I think it's an important thing for us to do. I'm glad this kind of lined out well for us, and so yeah, I think it's an important thing to think about. It's often a population that we don't think about in our daily lives, and I think that when we talk about the greater, you know, topic of violence in our country, we need to take special note of how many trans people experience violence, domestic violence, hate-based violence, etc.
Yeah. Some other stats that I've seen are trans people are 4 times more likely to be victims of a hate crime. And transgender women have the largest pay gap of any minority in our country. They make about 40 cents less for every dollar than like a cis male. So the stats are not, they're not great. So, but yeah, it's this day definitely kind of sucks. Obviously, there are websites out there that actually track every single person that has passed away in the past 12 months and kind of honors their memory. You can learn about them, read their story, which is really great. So I kind of urge everyone to do that. There is one that I do want to talk about specifically, because I found this one, I want to say a few months ago, or maybe a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. This actually popped up on my social media. So this was a post on social media that was meant to honor this person's life. I had noticed that there were thousands of comments. And obviously I went through the comments, and the majority of the comments were celebrating the fact that this person had killed themselves and rejoicing. And it was meant to be like a thing honoring this person's life. So I kind of got to know this story pretty well. But diving into it, Leah Smith, she was a double major in computer science and statistics. She was also an advocate for the trans community. She spoke on panels trying to advance healthcare for the transgender community. And until this year's NCAA ban on trans athletes, Leah was a proud member of the women's swimming and diving team. She was active in multiple college clubs, including the chess club, the Japanese club, and also women in computer science. Leah encouraged other trans students and said, quote, "There are people in your community that are here for you and care about you." The thing that is really frustrating to me is that this person was obviously very bright. They were trying to make the world a better place. Getting a double major, very hard to do. Leah Smith took her life a few months after a transphobic website targeted her. And I'm not going to mention the website name, but essentially they dead named her, which is when you use that person's like birth name that doesn't match their gender. And then kind of called out and pointed a lot of information out about Leah Smith, caused a lot of hate towards her. And then also that went on to social media, and she kind of got bombarded with a lot of hate messages and everything like that. So this group targeted this person. A few months later, she was found dead, I believe, in a cornfield, and her death was ruled as suicide, which is very, very sad. And this is also a spoiler alert. So next week we are going to be talking about Riley Bitchy Gaines. Wait, that's not her middle name. I'm sorry. Riley Gaines, who instead of training more, ran her mouth and got fifth, and she will not let the world fucking forget about that. But we're going to cover that story next week.
Yes, we are, because oh boy, she's getting some crap, and she deserves the crap she's getting, and we don't like her. Jay, thank you for doing that topic. Thank you for sharing those. Again, I think that these are important. I think it's good for us to take time to do these. And ultimately, you know, let people live their lives. This is the thing I think that bugs me the most. Maybe it's, I don't understand the Riley Gaines of the world. I just don't. And the reason is like, why do you care this much? Right? Like, why do you care? Okay? Like what's the deal?
Oh, I get it.
Okay.
I fucking know. I've met people like this.
I've met them, but I still don't understand why they care this much.
She's a fucking sore fucking loser. She lost and she's pissed about it, which I don't even.
This is specifically with and we're going to cover this next week, so I'm only going to talk about this for a minute. She tied for 5th with the trans athlete on her team, which means the person who won, the people who came in 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th were all biological women. Right? All of them. What do you all right, I'm done with that now. We'll talk about this next week. We'll do that one because it's gonna be funny. Yeah, leave some stuff down in the comments below. Okay. Again, if you've just joined us, go ahead and throw that stuff into the topics. I generally do check the Discord right before the show every day. As far as next week, Jay and I are working on it. It might be Wednesday. It might be late Thursday. We don't know quite yet. It's next week is the holiday. I don't think we're going to take the week off. I just don't know exactly when we're going to broadcast the show, but we are intending to do stuff. Okay. It is going to happen. Okay. Yeah. So again, if you're just joining us, go ahead and drop any comments or any topics you guys want to talk about into the thing below. I'm probably going to take one of these and modify it a little bit. I know we talked about some of the Stranger Things stuff. I'm going to drop this at the bottom. Excuse me. Jeez. You're killing me this week. All right. Should we move on to some fun stuff? Let's do some fun stuff.
Yes.
Okay. We get topic suggestions, obviously, from our Discord and some other ones that we find. Some of these don't really have enough meat to them yet to run a full segment. But we think it's fun to talk about a few of them and toss about them in our quick hit segment that we do from time to time. So here's some of those quick hits. First off, yes, Stargate is coming back. It's being brought back for Prime Video. Prime Video is rebooting Stargate. Jay, what is your first thought on this?
I accidentally read the second bullet point and I'm kind of like freaking out about that.
Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there. Stargate. First off, do you like the original Stargate?
Yeah, I was like a huge fan of
SG-1?
the movie. I love the movie and I love like the first whatever show. I didn't follow because I think there was like what the Stargate like
SG-1
Atlantis
and the Stargate Atlantis. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't watch that. But the early stuff I did.
I love the original movie. It's one of my all-time favorite sci-fi films. Absolutely adore it. If it's done right, I'm on board. I do think SG-1 went a little weird, right? Like they kind of jumped the shark a little bit. But again, I'm a fan of the concept. Martin Garrow, who worked on Stargate SG-1 Atlantis and the Stargate universe, will serve as the showrunner. So they're bringing back somebody from the original series to reboot it. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Let's do it. Okay. Okay. Bullet point number 2. Here we go. Paramount has canceled the live action Last Ronin TMNT movie, right? Which makes me sad, right? It does. I love the Last Ronin. It's right. It's on my shelf right there. Both of the Last Ronin ones are back on my shelf right here. I have both volumes of the Last Ronin series. When they explained their logic, I got it. I understood. So we haven't had a live action TMNT in 10 years, right? Since that last one happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
they don't want their first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live action movie out the gate in a decade to be an R-rated, adult-oriented turtle movie that really only has one turtle in it. Right? I get it. The thing that I'm not a big fan of is who they've tapped to produce. And it's the guy, and don't get me wrong, I love the Sonic the Hedgehog movies. Okay? I do. But that's the team that they're bringing together to do this. This guy also did a lot of the Fast and Furious movies. Right? So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this is the guy I want to produce my new Turtle movie. He's worked on The Boys. He worked on all the Sonic the Hedgehog movies for Paramount. He's worked on a bunch of the Fast and Furious movies. I Know What You Did Last Summer. He's got he's been a producer for a really long time. Right? And he's got some hits and he's got some misses. I'll say that. He really does. I just don't know if this is the guy I want to do it. Who would I want to see in that chair? Jeez, that's a tough one. Who do I want to see producing a new Turtle movie? Who produced the original ones? God, who produced the original ones? I want them to go back and redo the original ones. They were so good. I don't know. 1990. Who was the original producer on this? I don't know. Off the top of my head. Eastman and Laird wrote it, so that's why I like it so much. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think about this?
Okay. Yeah. You're a little more forgiving than I am. No. Fuck you. And I've been looking up all the ways to boycott Paramount. So Nickelodeon, that's fine. I don't watch that anymore. MTV, yeah, their name doesn't even fucking make sense anymore. They're not music TV, so that's fine. BET, that's fine. CBS, okay, that's gone. Yeah, no, make the Turtle movie. Give the people what they want. Also, for a producer, I would recommend Tom DeSanto. He was a producer of Transformers. He did some X-Men movies. So, I don't know. Thoughts there?
Yeah, he would probably work.
The thing is, like, delay the project, right? Like, delay it. I don't know. Don't just cancel it. Like, I get the logic. It does kind of make sense, but I want to see the live action.
Last Ronin, right? Me too. Don't get me wrong. I'm right there with you. So yeah, sorry. Yeah, and again, we don't know enough about this to run a full 15-minute segment on it, but it did come out today. So we wanted to chat about it real fast. Okay, next one. Sadie Sink, who we all know from Stranger Things, we all knew was going to be in the next Spider-Man movie, and there's been a lot of speculation about who she's going to be playing because Sony and Marvel are keeping that tightly under wraps right now. New reports out this week indicate she will also be filming for Avengers Secret Wars early next year. So now that we know her character is not exclusive to the Spider-Man movie, Do we have any change in our thoughts about who she's playing?
Who did we say that she who did we guess that she would be playing?
So the most common guesses is another version of MJ, right? Because she's a redhead.
Yeah.
Gwen Stacy.
Yep.
And Jean Grey. Because she's a redhead.
There we go. Jean Grey. Yep. Locking it in.
The argument I've always had against that was, are we going to introduce one of the foundational characters of the X-Men in a Spider-Man movie?
Heck yeah.
Why? How does that jive? Explain that to me, why you would want to start an X-Man in a Spider-Man movie.
All right. So, first of all, we wouldn't be expecting it. We wouldn't be talking about it on a podcast. That's for sure. Second, I think so I don't think she would have like a big role, right? Like if it is, right? I don't think it would be like a main character. I think it would be something like she would be in it like 10 minutes and then gone. Maybe at the end of the movie, hinting at like the next movie, like what's coming in Secret Wars or whatever. Like, so I don't think she would be a main character. I think it would be a tease, kind of like how in Thunderbolts we saw the Avengers 4 Rocket at the very end. That's my thoughts.
Okay.
As you cough up a lung.
I do. That's why I've been. So, fortunately, the stream can't really hear me most of the time. I'm muting myself for the stream, so you guys are welcome. Only Jay has to hear me hack up a lung right now. Fuck it, she's gonna be April O'Neil. Thank you. No, I don't think she's gonna be Mystique. So in 90s cartoon, Spider-Man did question if he was a mutant and went to the mansion. He is not a mutant. He is actually a mutate. He's not a mutant, right? They made that very, very clear. He does not have the X gene. He does work with the X-Men in the Spider-Man cartoon, and there is some crossovers there in the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. That's true. I still don't think that Feige and co. are going to introduce an X-Man in this. One of the ones that came out today is, because there's also a rumor that Tobey Maguire's coming back for Secret Wars, and that she's playing Mayday Parker, the daughter of Tobey Maguire's character. I don't think they're going to fuck with any multiverse stuff in the Spider-Man movie. This thing is already packed to the gills. You've got Punisher in this movie. Supposedly Hulk is in this movie. How many more characters are you going to try and jam into a Spider-Man movie, right, before it becomes a little too much, right? And in the Spider-Man movies, the ones that they've produced, the Spider-Man, I'm not talking about Avengers, I'm talking about Spider-Man Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home. They don't jam 1,800 characters in these movies, right? Iron Man was in the first one. Nick Fury's in the second one. Nick Fury. And the other two Spiders are in the third one. You know, these are not like Captain America Civil War where we have 9 different Avengers in this movie. So that's where, again, I just can't see him doing it. It would be an interesting take on Gwen Stacy if they made her Spider-Gwen, right? And existing in the same kind of canonical thing. Because usually Spider-Gwen is an alternate universe where Spider-Man's not there. Putting her in as a secondary Spider character would be interesting to me. What do you think about that?
Yeah. That would be interesting. Thinking. I don't know though. Yeah. I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to wait for when is this gonna come out? Like
Next May.
Ooh, okay.
July 31st. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Last bullet. Jay, did you watch the trailer that I sent you?
No.
Jay didn't do their homework.
No, did not.
Okay. So this will be our last quick hit. I sent Jay this trailer. I have been waiting for a better trailer for this. So the author who wrote The Martian, right, which they eventually turned into the movie The Martian with Matt Damon, right? They're adapting another one of his one of his books called Project Hail Mary, okay? And it is such a good book. I started reading it the other day. I picked up the book. I read like a third of the book in like 2 hours. Like, could not put it down that good. It is so good. I don't want to get copyright strikes, so we're going to be careful here, right? But this movie stars Ryan Gosling, right, as this scientist guy. I think they do a really good job of, it's amazing to me how we took Ryan Gosling and he went from Ken to nerdy school teacher, right? They're like, look, he's a nerdy school teacher guy. And he pulls it off very, very well, right? I'm not going to, go watch this trailer. Again, I don't want to get dinged by Amazon. Look at you, Amazon. For playing it. There's also some music in the background that I don't want to get copyright struck for. But look at Ryan Gosling there. He's like, I'm a nerdy guy with a rain slicker. And he, again, pulls it off. This trailer looks so good. It was directed by Lord and Miller, who directed the Spider-Verse movies. Right? And it is like what I call true science fiction. Right? Like real sci-fi. Like science. I'm not going to give away a whole lot about the plot. He does go to space. Right? Look at his nerdy sweater. I love that. It's perfect. Okay? Okay? This is also, this is the guy who played Ken. You know? I think Ryan Gosling is an underrated actor, by the way. Go watch this trailer, the second trailer they put up for Project Hail Mary. Go pick up this book. It is absolutely amazing. It's a great book. Again, I read the first third of the book in like 2 hours. I could not put it down. Please go watch this movie. There is an alien. That's not a spoiler. The alien shows up in the movie or in the book in the first third of the book. That's the alien right there. He calls him Rocky. Like he makes him a little. The alien makes him a little like when they first meet. It makes him a little like human guy, right? As they're learning to communicate, it's like this is you. And he makes him a little human dude. It really is such a good book. The design here looks amazing. I can't say enough about this. This is one of my most anticipated movies of next year. So yeah, I'm done now. Have you read any of these books like The Martian? Did you see The Martian?
I did watch The Martian. I did like it, but I did just watch the trailer. Yeah, this looks really good. I'm putting this on the list. I will be seeing this, and I'll have to pick up the book. I always get nervous about this because when I read books before seeing the movie, then I get expectations, and then I'm always let down, and then I'm upset or critiquing the movie. But
I can understand that, but I trust Lord Miller, right, as directors, right, because they're very, very good at what they do. Um, I've yet to be really let down by them. Um,
Okay.
it looks so solid, and I love the
It
soundtrack
does.
that they use in there.
Oh
Right,
yeah.
I love the music that they use in the trailer for trailer 2. Right, the Champagne Supernova. That's just perfect.
Can you sing it for us so we
I
don't
will
get
not.
struck?
I will not because I cannot sing, and nobody wants to hear that. Thank you though. All right. Well, that's our quick hits for tonight. Those are all like little fun stories that we saw that we didn't have enough meat to kind of like do a whole segment on. But hey, with 4 of them, we actually get like an 18-minute segment, which is great. Let us know about what you think about all those topics down in the comments below. Okay. Oh, good. We can move on to this. You were talking about boycotting Paramount. So now we can talk more about Paramount and other people, right? Hang on. Whew. Again, for anybody that joined the show late, if you've got any topics you want us to discuss or something you saw in the news this week or in entertainment or something like that, that you're like, hey, talk about this, throw it in the chat. We'll try and get to that at the end of the show. If you're watching this later on YouTube, you can join our Discord and put the topics in there. We check them before the show every week. Okay. Mostly because we've been covering this story a lot. You all know we've been following this story a lot because we love entertainment, right? We do. We like to be entertained. And Jay's getting an MBA, and we like all the businesses. We like talking about business. I also feel, and I think Jay will agree with me on this, a lot of like nerdy podcasts and stuff like that, they don't talk about the business of the fandoms and the things that we love. And there's a lot of mistaken information out there. And we've talked about this in everything from porn to Wizards of the Coast. So we're going to talk more about business here. The Warner Brothers buyout, right? Everybody knows we've been covering this story for a long time. Warner Brothers is for sale. And the bids are in. So this is the first round of bidding for Warner Brothers Discovery, right? So who put in bids? As of right now, reportedly, it is Netflix, Comcast, and the people that Jay in the last segment wanted to boycott over their Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle decision, Paramount, right? They have all submitted bids. Earlier this week, there was a report that Paramount had assembled an investor consortium that included the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund and the Qatari Wealth Fund as part of their money to make the $71, reportedly, billion bid for Warner Brothers Discovery. Other interesting things that have supposedly come out about these bids is that Netflix, who hates releasing things theatrically because they're stupid, and Ted Sarandos is a turd, right? Has committed to keeping Warner Brothers as a theatrically released studio, which I'm sure when Ted Sarandos read that in their bid, like his like butthole puckered a whole bunch. Because again, he hates the theaters. So $71 billion, Paramount, Netflix, Comcast. There may be other bids that we just don't know about. I'm still kind of like hoping for a last minute run from Apple. Jay, first off, does this stick with your whole FU Paramount position that you're in right now?
Yes, it does. Because we will never forget what you did to the fucking turtles. Okay? We'll never fucking forget. Because it would literally just happen. Like, we learned about it
today.
I don't know, like an hour ago.
Look, it hasn't been good since New Line Cinema. So let's just put it that way. Anyway,
there you go.
Of those 3, Netflix, Comcast, Paramount. Look, fanboys can get mad about this, but Jay, let's put our business hats on. Warner Brothers is getting sold. They have a fiduciary responsibility to the shareholders. It's fucking happening. Okay? We know this. Right? Of those 3, barring again a weird 11th hour bid from somebody else, right? Of those 3, who would you prefer to win?
Oh.
Netflix, Comcast, or Paramount? Which is the least of all 3 evils?
God, this sucks. So Comcast is like evil, like Sauron evil.
And of them, they also still own a studio. They own Universal.
They do,
They own NBC Universal.
but I'm pretty sure like at least a third of the world's population has been pretty fucked pretty hard by their shitty fucking internet. Oh, and then I was like pretty firm on my stance of like boycotting Paramount. Oh shit. Oh my god. Like, I don't know. Like, I think maybe Netflix, because he's like a Hellboy evil. Like, kind of funny, kind of big, I don't know, trying to do good, technically.
I mean, that's the CEO of Netflix. I still kind of want to punch him in the face. Look at his face. Doesn't he have a punchable face?
He does have a punchable face. He does.
I'm sorry, Ted. Face. You just do. Look at that face. Okay. Okay. So, are we thinking though that Netflix is the lesser of the three evils?
Oh God, I think so. From like, because here's the thing: all Netflix has to do is buy them, and then say like, okay, yeah, keep doing what you're doing. Thank you. We're not going to interfere. Keep releasing movies to the theater. We'll get involved somehow. But yeah, keep doing you. Yeah, this sucks.
To answer a chat question from YouTube, Amazon, why aren't they in for this? I don't think Amazon wants to spend $70 billion on a movie studio. They already own MGM. They already bought a studio, right? And that cost them only $8.5 billion. So again, we're talking in the terms of what this studio is going to go for. If the reported numbers are right, you're talking about a $71 billion expense to put on Warner Brothers. That's almost 10 times, it's 9 times what they paid for MGM, right? And again, they already have a studio. I don't think they care, right? They have their studio. They own a bunch of stuff that they can use. They've done fairly well with it, right? I don't think they're at all interested in Warner Brothers. Disney is Disney has been unequivocal. We're out. We're not in this. They bought Fox, 20th Century. They're good. They don't want this. Whoever buys this gets the WP catalog and the vault. And Warner Brothers is one of the most storied studios in the history of Hollywood, right? One of the funny side stories I saw when this Saudi stuff came out, because Zack Snyder was posting a bunch of weird shit, was they were like, the Saudis are going to bring back the Snyderverse. They're going to buy Warner Brothers and bring back the Snyderverse to DC. And I was like, no, that's not happening. Jay-Z doesn't have the money. Conglomerates are the only ones who can buy this. Like, individuals aren't going to buy Warner Brothers. So, Jay, I'm going to surprise the audience, I think. I'm going to agree with you. I think Netflix is probably the least of those three evils. At least we don't lose another studio, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We're still keeping the number of major studios out there. My guess is what Sarandos wants is two things. He wants the Warner Brothers vault on Netflix, right? Every Harry Potter movie, right? All that stuff. Hang on. What major franchises does WB own?
God.
DC. Warner Brothers owns DC.
Yep.
They own all the Lord of the Rings movies. Right? Game of Thrones.
Ooh.
Right? All the MonsterVerse stuff. Godzilla, King Kong.
Ooh.
Right? Warner Brothers has quite a few franchises that are worth money. Right? So I can see why Netflix is interested in this. Because they get that library, the Matrix franchise, right? The Nightmare on Elm Street franchise for my horror fans out there, right?
Wow.
Bunch of stuff that they could do. The Friday the 13th franchise, right? You want to do some more reboots? We talk about reboots all the time. Police Academy. Reboot that as a Netflix series.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
HBO is WB, and that actually brings me to point number 2. Right? I think that they recognize, Netflix knows, everybody in the industry knows, HBO, for time immemorial, is the gold standard of prestige television. Right? The Sopranos. Right? Freaking Last of Us. Game of Thrones. Right?
The Penguin.
You know, the Penguin. They are, again, they have a massive thing. The Wire. All right? Sex in the City. And again, you can say you don't like the show, but it was popular. True Detective. Right?
Oh, God, I forgot about that.
Okay? They do prestige television. Band of Brothers was them. All right? The Pacific was them. Chernobyl was them. The Newsroom was them. Entourage was them. Right? I think what Netflix really wants is they want the catalog. Right? Because so you get all the old HBO stuff and you just stick it on Netflix. And you leave HBO alone. You guys keep producing what you produce. Yeah. Have fun. HBO Max will be here, and eventually we'll come up with the Netflix HBO Max bundle. Just like Disney did with Hulu. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That, I think, is why Netflix is angling for this. Now, Netflix, they will do theatrical releases in limited markets and for very limited runs so that they get their Oscar stuff. They were pissed off because K-pop Demon Hunters got left out of the BAFTAs. Right? Mm-hmm. The BAFTAs were like, fuck you, no. No, K-pop Demon Hunters don't qualify. Sorry. You didn't theatrically release it until after you did it on streaming. And you did that as a gimmick. No, it doesn't count. I also think that that's another thing that eventually Sarandos will leave. He'll die. Right? And I think that the other reason Netflix doesn't do theatrical is they don't have a distribution arm. What they buy with Warner Brothers is they buy a department that already does distribution. Warner Brothers already knows how to do it. Right? Warner Brothers knows how to distribute. They do it right now. They have a marketing department for theatrical distribution. They know how to do theatrical. So if Netflix was going to start moving their stuff to theatrical and leave theatrical alone, I'm more okay with it. I just don't want to see this shit where it's like all these great movies like Dune, which is also Warner Brothers, go straight to Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So there's that. I'm actually going to take this and I'm going to take this chat comment and I'm going to turn it into a topic here in a minute. Ooh, I'm going to, because that's going to be a fun one.
Oh, the fucking award
Yep.
shows?
Yep. We're going to talk about that in a minute. All right. So I guess we're all, and I think chat kind of agrees. It seems that chat's kind of like Netflix is the least evil of all of those. I think we've all had bad experiences with Comcast cable.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, let us know what you think down in the comments below. All right. You also made a note here. I want to go back up.
What?
You were making a note here a couple minutes ago. I don't know where it went. I saw you typing in the rundown doc.
Yeah. I was typing.
What were you typing?
I was thinking about making an announcement.
Okay. Do you want to?
Sure, we can.
Go. What you got?
Yeah, this is gonna be really short while Alex kind of clears his lungs and thinks about the next topic, how to form the next topic idea. We have been in negotiations with the very famous Ginny Bangs, adult entertainer Ginny Bangs, and we have come to a conclusion. Ginny and I, we will be creating a new podcast talking about just trans issues. And we were talking about starting to film maybe next week or maybe after like the Thanksgiving holiday. But we've been working out like some ideas and some topic ideas and how we're going to do it and stuff like that. So that'll be fun. If you're a fan of Unnatural Sum and you're a fan of Ginny Bangs, or if you just want to hear more trans topics, that is coming. So, woo! Also, I got sponsored by like an energy drink company.
You did?
Yeah.
How come you can't bring sponsorships to this podcast? You and I are going to have to talk after this. Wait a minute. You're one that you haven't even started yet already has a sponsor, and we don't?
No, I think it's just the old podcast. You could probably do it too because it looks like they're just sponsoring everyone.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so we can do it. But yeah, so I don't know, when I get my free energy drinks, you might be seeing some sleazy plugins for that. I don't know.
Adult Entertainment brings in the sponsors. This is true.
That is true.
That's also
true. That is true.
That's also true.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So do we want to do this effing thing?
I mean, I don't really know where
I'm going with this.
Yeah, I don't know where you're going with this.
Okay, so somebody during our last segment put in the chat that the effing award shows, and we're talking about like the Oscars, the Emmys, the BAFTAs, need to get with the 21st century, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at first blush, I understand the sentiment, right? It is not the same entertainment landscape as it was, 25 years ago. Hell, even 15 years ago, right? We just know this, right? So at first blush, I want to agree with the sentiment. But I don't. And I actually think that some of the award shows need to look back at their history and they need to start putting their foot down more, right? Mm. And the reason for this is the Netflixes of the world. And what brought this was Netflix submitted KPop Demon Hunters for a BAFTA, right? Which that's what you do. You submit your stuff for awards consideration, right? And the BAFTA said no. And Netflix appealed. And the BAFTAs still said no. The BAFTA said that it has to have a qualifying theatrical release because the BAFTA is the British equivalent of the Oscar. It's the British Film Awards, right? Under exceptional circumstances, they could change their mind, right? When Netflix appealed, BAFTA said, No, there's nothing exceptional about this circumstance. You decided to release something to streaming, which is true. You had no fucking idea that this was going to be the massive global hit that it was, right?
True.
But the only reason you put it in theaters after that was as a gimmick after it had already blown up and become this cultural thing. Okay? So we're not going to reward you for that. Okay?
Yeah.
The Oscars has a very, like, they've got a specific thing, which is why you will see Netflix and Amazon periodically. They will do a release for like 4 days in 13 cities.
Oh.
Okay. Just enough to get Oscar freaking consideration, right? And it drives me up the fucking wall. Okay. And here's why. One, I don't care what anybody says. The theatrical experience is different. Okay? It just is. Okay? It is a slightly different art form. Okay? And things that should be experienced in theaters should be experienced in theaters, right? My first case in point is Star Wars. Go watch one of these Star Wars re-releases in a movie theater. Because you've watched it 100 times at home, but go back and watch it in a theater again and tell me that shit doesn't hit different. Okay? It just does. It's a different art form. And here's the thing. Netflix, all you other streamers, there's already an award show for television movies. It's called the Emmys. It's always been there. The problem is you guys don't want Emmys because, again, the history of TV movies was that back in the 80s, 90s, etc., TV movies were garbage, right? They just were, okay? They were lower production value. They were lower budget. They had lesser stars. Go watch some of the documentaries about actors talking about trying to break into movies from TV. TV and movie actors used to be very, very different. They used to be two very distinct groups, right? And going from movies to TV was considered a step down, and breaking into films from television was a nightmare for actors, okay? Because it was there. So when we say the effing award shows need to join the 21st century, I'm going to go no. I think that the production companies need to look at the history of the art form, because again, we can talk about what it is, but at the end of the day, film, television, and movies is still an art form and should be respected as such, right? And we should look at the history of that art form and the mediums in which it's meant to be seen and reward those people for honoring that history and doing not just these bullshit 13 city 4-day releases, right? But real theatrical releases. So that's the end of that little mini rant there, Jay. What do you think about what I'm saying here?
Yeah, I agree, and I love K-pop Demon Hunters. Obviously, I love the songs. I love the style of it. I love the storyline, and yeah, I think you're absolutely correct. They had no idea this was going to blow up, and when it blew up, then they tried to do like a little miniature theater release, which, you know, I'm happy about. That's great. But I mean, like at the end of the day, they just didn't qualify for the award. I mean, if they planned ahead and they knew, they were like projecting like this is going to be a huge hit, like you did, I don't know, studies, like consumer studies, and are like, wow, this is rating really, really high. And we might release this into the theater, then this would have been avoided. So, but no, you have to play by the rules. I don't know. Like I mean, it sucks, right? But like also at the same time, I don't think K-pop Demon Hunters can win literally every single award in the world. You know, like they're getting nominated for so many awards. They're probably going to win a lot of awards. Just let it go. I don't know.
And this is what I mean by the bullshit. So the way that they did this for the Oscars, right? They gamed it for the Oscars. They screened K-pop Demon Hunters from June 20th to 26th at 3 theaters. The Landmark Opera Plaza in San Francisco, the Lamel Glendale in Los Angeles County, and the Quad Cinema in New York. Why? Academy rules require that a film be shown for paid admission in a commercial theater in at least one of the 6 qualifying U.S. metro areas: L.A., New York, Bay Area, Chicago, Dallas, or Atlanta. Right? So it's going to get a chance at the Oscars. Right? But again, they did some BS on the back end for the BAFTA, and BAFTA just wasn't buying it. They need a category for streaming movies. It's called the Emmys. That's what it is. Those are television movies. They're TV movies. I am actually firmly against them adding an Oscar category for streaming movies. If the bullshit Golden Globes want to do it, let them. Right? But the Golden Globes have been and still have a lot of work to do on their reputation before they stop being kind of a joke. That explains why I've never heard of so many art festivals. And actually, specifically, and this actually makes me mad, the reason it's so easy to get a qualification for an Oscar is so that independent movies have a shot. Because an indie movie that never gets a major distributor has no chance at an Oscar unless you make it really easy. Right? So that's why they do it that way, so that independent films have a chance, because they don't have distribution. I assume you're meaning that streaming movies are not TV movies. I would beg to differ. And actually, Jay, I'll let you jump in there. How are streaming movies made for streaming that are only released on streaming, not TV movies? Definitionally, that's what they are.
Yeah. Yeah. What? No, I mean, they are movies. Yes.
So they don't have commercials, but every HBO original movie that was ever nominated for anything, again, and HBO original movies don't have commercials, were never eligible for Oscars. They were only eligible for Emmys. Because the fact that it doesn't have commercials has no bearing on it. It's what medium was it released on. Emmys, the Emmy Awards, are for television, and the Oscars are for theatrical films.
Yeah.
And as we just covered, it's not hard to qualify for an Oscar. You don't got to release it in that many theaters.
Yeah, and it's just different. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Netflix did not know what they had. What's going to be actually interesting to me is Netflix going to change their strategy? Like, are they going to be careful? Are they going to do some more, I don't know, audience surveying before something like this comes out to see if they want to release it into theaters to go for these type of awards? But like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. At the end of the day, like, you just didn't follow the rules.
This has always been Netflix's struggle.
Oh.
And this has always been the challenge that they have. Are you a tech company or are you a production company? Right? Because you can't, I don't think you can really be both. Right? That's the problem. And Netflix went from tech company to production company very quickly without a lot of thought about how they were doing it. They just said, we're going to make our own stuff so that people will stay subscribed to our service. Right? And again, I don't think they really know what they are anymore. Right? Because they still have a lot of that internal culture, that internal way of doing things that makes them a tech company, not a production company. Which is how you end up with, well, we got this K-pop Demon Hunters thing that we worked on with Sony, and it blew up. But hey, we gave the Russo brothers $300 million to make this other movie called The Electric State, and it was a dumpster fire. Right? Like, what? Yeah, that Electric State movie starring Chris Pratt and Millie Bobby Brown cost $300 million. Cost Netflix $300 million. And it was bad.
Interesting. Yeah. I don't even know. I think I vaguely remember seeing it, like seeing the movie, but I didn't watch it.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. And every studio has their stakers. Most studios don't spend $300 million on their stakers. There's $300 million a lot of movies.
Yeah.
You know? Take that for what it's worth. Again, they didn't know what they had. Because again, they think of it. They think of themselves like a tech company. They just threw it up there. How many times have we done on this show, and every show I've done in the past, about, hey, this thing came to Netflix and nobody had any idea?
Yeah.
Like, oh, this has been on Netflix for months. Right?
Yeah, Netflix really does have to figure that shit out.
I really think that's why they want to buy Warner Brothers.
And I can see where like that would really, really help Netflix. Like, kind of like what you were saying. They're just not a company right now that's set up to produce shit. And I think like buying Warner Brothers like would help them in that area. But yeah, the Netflix, it's just, how the hell do you advertise, or how the hell do you not advertise for movies that you're producing that are like $300 million? Like, I don't know.
The problem is again, I don't think they know how to advertise them, right?
No.
There's a structure and a way that advertising is done for theatrical releases that works, right? They know what works. You also have trailers in movie theaters to make people want to go see your movie, right? When you're flipping through Netflix, you're not looking at coming soon on Netflix trailers. You don't give a crap, right? There's nowhere on platform for them to really advertise per se, right? Ahead of time, right? Before the launch of the thing that anybody's going to pay any attention to. You're not going to put a trailer for it in the theaters because you're not doing a theatrical release. I don't know how they advertise it. And again, I don't think they know how to advertise it. And I think that's the one thing that's really kicked their butts. Because there is a lot of really interesting stuff on Netflix that just, I'll give you an example, right? And I guarantee you, nobody's fucking watched it. Or half the people in our thing have not watched it. Who's watched Three Body Problem?
Oh, yes, I love that.
Okay. I'll bet you if we take a poll of our chat right now, almost nobody has watched Three Body Problem. Okay. Yeah, one person so far in the chat has watched Three Body Problem, right? Nobody knew it was coming out. I don't think most people even heard of it.
Yeah.
It's an amazing series. Great. Right? It's an amazing series, right? Awesome cast, right? Amazing cast, right? Cool concepts, great sci-fi, good CGI, good writing. Where are you advertising it? And I like what somebody said in the chat. How do you not advertise your $300 million movie? Our algorithm will do it for us, right? And I think that's really what they think. So, again, kind of bring this back around to the front. No, I don't think the award shows need to join the 21st century. I think some of the production companies need to respect the art forms that they're supposedly making and stop being jerks about it. And I'm talking specifically to you, Netflix. Screw you, Netflix. God. Let's go back and look at Ted Sarando's face again. It's so punchable. You know,
I will say, like, the class that I'm in currently is promotional management, which goes into literally like, how do you advertise?
Mm-hmm.
How do you get your brand out there? How do you get your movie out there? And the thing that's kind of annoying is that there's specialized agencies that all Netflix has to do is just hire them, and they will literally go in, do all the research, put together. It's kind of like Mad Men, I guess, like put together the whole concept and freaking launch it for them. They just don't want to spend the money for it. So I don't know.
So I'll tell you this right now. The sequel for KPop Demon Hunters is not set to come out till 2029. They better get a move on that, or they're going to lose a lot of the momentum they have.
Yeah.
Dude, 4 years?
I bet you.
I don't know if K-pop's going to be the thing in 4 years.
Yeah, but I bet you it's going to be released in theaters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. All right, last chance. Any other quick topics you guys got that you'd like for us to talk about? Go ahead and throw it in the chat. The purpose of going, it's a meme. There you go. See, thank you, chat. Yeah. I really am looking forward to this. Oh, this is the other problem too. I've been so sick. I've been wanting to go to the movies for like 2 weeks now. Like go to the theater, right? And I just don't want to be sitting in a movie theater pissing everybody off by hacking my lungs out in the middle of a theater.
Yeah.
Right? We actually talked about the sequels and seasons thing when we talked about The Pit, because The Pit is going to release here very shortly. They're aiming for that once a year kind of run.
Oh, shit.
They're done filming season 2. It's done. Anyone going to watch the Gamer Awards? I don't watch the awards live. I look at the trailers because the Gaming Awards are not about the awards. That show is entirely about what we're announcing. And not for nothing. I understand that's more entertaining than listening to people who aren't really famous talk about their video games. Yeah, I know if I was sitting behind somebody or in front of somebody and they were hacking their lungs out during a whole movie, I would get annoyed. So that's why I don't know. It's a personal thing. Not telling anybody what to do. I'm just saying, for me, I won't do it. Because there's like 3 movies I want to go see right now. I want to see Predator Badlands. I want to see Now You See Me. I want to see Running Man, even though that's getting really bad reviews. Have you watched any of them yet?
No, I want to see the Predator movie. I heard Now You See Me is also flopping.
Uh-huh. It is.
So,
my wife went to go see, she took my daughter to see a advanced screening of Wicked for Good last night.
Oh wow.
And they
Oh
said it
wow.
was very fun. They went on Wednesday. So good for them. Yeah, but they said it was pretty good. Good way to end the thing. You know what's really interesting from a this year thing? There's only been $1 billion film this year so far. Just one.
And what was that?
Lilo and Stitch.
Oh wow.
That was it.
Wow.
Last year there were 3. Right?
Yeah.
I think you're going to get 2 this year. I think it's Lilo and Stitch and Avatar. That's it. I'm telling you, this has not been a great year for the box office. It really hasn't. Jurassic World Rebirth is the number 4 grossing movie of the year. Right now.
Oh.
And it's going to end in the top 10. Right? I kind of want to see one battle after another, but that one's one I'm going to watch at home. It's just too much. I'll be honest. We talked a little bit about this week, and I'm still on the fence. I don't know if I'm going to see Avatar Fire and Ash in the theater.
I think that's a movie that's made for the theater.
I know it is, but it's 3 hours and 15 minutes. I'm going to miss something.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I'm a little mad at Jimmy C for making this movie that long and not putting it in intermission. What is wrong with you?
One, get 2 things of popcorn, okay? And then just the second large thing of popcorn, just immediately dump out all the popcorn. And then use that as...
We're talking about not coughing in a theater, and I'm just going to start peeing in bottles in the middle of the movie theater. Dude, 3 hours and 15 minutes?
That is long. I mean...
Put in a fucking intermission, dude.
Yeah.
And the last company... So the last time this happened, what was the movie? I'm trying to remember what it was. There was a theater chain that put in an intermission in one of these really long ones, these 3 hour plus, and the distribution company lit them up. Threatened to sue them.
Oh, wow.
Because they were like, look, man, these movies are over 3 hours long. We got to give people a chance to go to the bathroom. And the distribution company flipped. But actually, speaking of that, let's talk about one battle after another real quick. Because do you know how much that one grossed?
$10. I don't know.
Hang on, let's look, actually. It grossed $200 million. That's it. It made less money than The Bad Guys 2.
Wow.
Right? The funny thing is, there was actually a bunch of good movies this year that nobody saw. I still think that Karate Kid Legends was a lot of fun. The Naked Gun was hilarious. Did you see that one yet?
Did not know.
That was good. It did crap. Yeah. I mean, there's just the box office has just been bad. Oh, that's neat. Okay, yeah. If you're gonna watch, if One Battle After Another was filmed in your hometown, yeah, I definitely seen it. Yeah, you gotta go watch that. All right. Well, we seem to be running into the we're just talking about random things. Yay! Oh, that was the other thing because I wanted to look at the calendar. Because Wicked's coming out this weekend. It's gonna make so much money, and it's gonna make even more money over the Thanksgiving weekend.
Oh my god! Yeah. Oh my god.
They're thinking it might hit 200 million worldwide this weekend. Zootopia 2 might make good money.
When is that coming out?
Next weekend.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
That'll probably make good money.
Thanksgiving weekend. Yeah, I can see that.
I don't want to watch that. Let's see here. Five Nights at Freddy's 2. That it's a Blumhouse movie, so they made it for whatever they pulled out of couch cushions, Blumhouse is really good at making movies cheap. So if that movie makes 70 million, they probably made 40. The Kill Bill movie is coming out, that release. That's the whole thing. It's 4 hours and 41 minutes.
Ooh.
Does that have an intermission? Hang
Does
on.
not?
I'm looking.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? That
I'm
has
looking.
to.
It has to. Yes, it does. 4 hours and 41 minutes. They put in a 15-minute intermission. Okay, good. I would lose my mind.
100%.
God, there's just not much for the rest of the year until we get to Avatar. And Avatar is going to make all the money.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of debate about how much it's going to gross. What do you think?
Let me look real quick.
So Avatar 1 made almost 3 billion, 2.9.
Okay.
Avatar 2 made 2.34 billion.
Okay.
Right? Does Avatar 3 crack 2 billion?
When is it coming out?
The 19th of December.
Oh, okay. Christmas time frame. I want to say 1.9.
You think it doesn't quite get there?
Nope. Because like in my head, and I saw both of them in the theater. In my head, this is like the Transformers. Like the first one, amazing, really, really great. The second one, still good, but like you're kind of getting tired of it. And then the third one, now you just have dinosaurs and giant swords and stuff, and it's just like, okay, what are we doing? So like, yeah, I think it's like losing its appeal.
Here's the thing: 1.9 billion is still a shit ton of money.
Right? Yeah, it's still very successful, but I don't think it's going to crack 2.
Grossing movies of all time. Because Avatar is number 1. Avatar is the highest grossing film of all time. Avatar Way of Water is number 3. Right? Of all time. If you're right, it's going to come in just above or just below Spider-Man No Way Home, which grossed 1.922 billion. Okay? So it could push Spider-Man down to the number 9 spot, right? Of highest grossing movies of all time. In which case, it would not get past Avengers Infinity War, which would still hold on to the number 7 spot. Right? Oh, it's gonna it's gonna make a crap ton of money. It is gonna make over $1 billion. Well over 100%. $1 billion, right?
Yep.
The question really is how much over $1 billion, and can it crack 2? Right? Keeping in mind, and I still don't buy Neja 2, right? I don't believe them because I think they're lying. So I'm even removing Neja 2. Only 6 movies in the history of cinema, of all time, have made more than $2 billion. Right? Avatar, Avengers Endgame, Avatar The Way of Water, Titanic, Star Wars The Force Awakens, and Avengers Infinity War. That's it. That is the list of $2 billion films. Right? You know what? I think you're right. I don't think it cracks 2. And I'm actually going to go slightly lower. I think it's going to get to about 1.85. 1.8.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to beat Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
I just don't. Yeah. That's a lot of money. Yeah, it's interesting to see what's in the top 50. Everything in the top 50 has made $1 billion. At least $1 billion. Right? Keep in mind, that's in the history of cinema. Of all the movies ever made, less than 0.1% make $1 billion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, so there you go. Take that for what it's worth. I still think there should be a damn intermission. All right, folks. 9:45. We love you. We will be back next week. We'll let you know when. Next week. We don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. We're going to get there. I promise. But Jay, say goodnight to the lovely people. We miss you all. We love you all.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks for sticking around for the whole show. And we will see you next week.
Bye.